Shout out to Austin Thomas and Iskander Fazi for joining my channel. Thank you so much for joining my channel. Also, I requested to all my subscribers, if you like my videos and my channel, then please support me by joining my channel, dear subscribers. Kavi, a young man just steeped to 20, have to take very hard decision to save his parents. Kavi had just turned 20, a fresh graduate full of dreams. Navigating life's promising uncertainties in the heart of Prayagraj alongside his loving parents, Bhim and Kavita. Their mornings often began at a sacred Sangam, where the Ganges, Yamuna, and mythical Saraswati rivers converged, offering a serene start to the day with the holy deep. On this fateful morning, Kavi and his friends immersed themselves in the ritualistic cleansing of Sangam's waters, while Bhim and Kavita decided to head back home. The tranquility of the morning was shattered by screeching tires and shattering glass as tragedy struck on the road back. A bus careened out of control, colliding with Bhim and Kavita's car in a devastating crash. The impact was brutal, leaving chaos and devastation in its wake. Kavi's heart sank as he received the frantic call, racing towards the scene where their lives had been irreversibly altered. Amidst the wreckage, Kavita lay motionless, her life tragically cut short in the blink of an eye. Bhim, miraculously alive but critically injured, was trapped in the wreckage, his life hanging by a thread. As sirens wailed in the distance, Kavi stood frozen in shock, the weight of the world crashing down on his young shoulders. In that moment of profound loss and chaos, Kavi made a silent vow to navigate the dark labyrinth of grief and uncertainty, to fight for his father's life with every fiber of his being, and perhaps, in doing so, to find a way to save himself from being consumed by sorrow. At the hospital, the grim reality descended like a heavy shroud over Kavi and his father Bhim. The doctors, with somber expressions, delivered devastating news. Kavita had succumbed to her injuries, leaving behind a void that seemed insurmountable. Bhim, in a coma induced by the severity of his injuries, murmured Kavita's name in his unconscious state, a heartbreaking testament to their deep bond. The doctor's prognosis was equally bleak yet laced with a glimmer of hope. Bhim had sustained a critical injury, a hole in his heart that required meticulous care and a significant recovery period before any operation could be considered. The doctor emphasized the necessity for Bhim to gather strength, physically and emotionally, for the challenging road ahead. Kavi, grappling with the sudden loss of his mother and the uncertain fate of his father, felt the weight of responsibility settle heavily upon him. He stood by Bhim's bedside, holding his father's hand, willing him to find the strength to fight through the darkness of coma towards the light of recovery. As the hospital corridors echoed with the hushed tones of medical staff and the beeping of monitors, Kavi vowed silently to honor his mother's memory by standing strong for his father. The possibility of losing Bhim too loomed large, but Kavi clung to the hope that with time, patience, and unwavering determination, he could guide his father back from the precipice of loss and reunite their shattered family once more. As Kavi sat by his father's bedside, lost in a haze of grief and worry, his aunt Neelam, Bhim's sister, entered the room. Her eyes, red from crying, softened when they landed on Kavi. She walked over and gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "Kavi," Neelam said softly, "I am so sorry for what happened. I can't imagine the pain you're going through right now." Kavi looked up at her, his eyes filled with sorrow and confusion. "Aunt Neelam, I don't know what to do. How can we go on without Mom? And Dad, he's in such a bad state." Neelam took a deep breath, her mind already working on a plan. "Kavi, I've been thinking. Your father is in a fragile state, both physically and mentally. He keeps calling for your mother. We need to do something drastic to help him recover. What do you mean? Kavi asked, his brow furrowing. In confusion, Neelam hesitated for a moment before speaking. Kavi, your facial features are very similar to your mother's. If you could take on her role, it might help your father stabilize. He needs to believe she's still here, at least until he's strong enough to handle the truth. Kavi stared at her in disbelief. You want me to pretend to be mom? That's insane, Aunt Neelam. I can't do that. Neelam's expression hardened with determination. Kavi, you are our last hope. If you don't do this, we might lose your father too. Think about the sacrifices he's made for you. Remember the times he put everything on the line to ensure you had a good life. This is the time to give back, no matter how difficult it seems. Kavi shook his head, the idea feeling too overwhelming. But I can't. I'm just a skinny guy. Mom was different. People will notice. Neelam's voice softened as she looked at him with pleading eyes. You can put on some weight, Kavi. It's not about becoming her. It's about giving your father a reason to fight, to recover. He needs to see a glimpse of her to find the strength within himself. Please, Kavi, do it for your father. Tears welled up in Kavi's eyes as memories of his father's sacrifices flashed through his mind. Late nights working extra shifts, missed meals so Kavi could eat, unwavering support through every challenge. He realized that this might be the only way to repay even a fraction of the love and sacrifices his father had made for him. With a deep breath, Kavi nodded slowly. Okay, Aunt Neelam. I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes to help Dad get better. Neelam embraced him tightly, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Kavi. I know this is incredibly difficult, but you are stronger than you realize. Together, we'll get through this, and we'll bring your father back. As they parted, Kavi felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path ahead was uncertain and fraught with challenges, but he was determined to do whatever it took to save his father, even if it meant losing himself in the process. What will happen next in Kavi's and his family life? As Kavi agreed to Neelam's aunt's thought, what will be Kavi's next step? Stay tuned to the upcoming part of the series. Also like, share and subscribe to my channel for the latest videos.